Hi, I'm Ali and a warm welcome to the Ceramic Repair Studio. So I thought in today's video I would do a continuation of this beautiful, as you can see, femoral rose Chinese vase. In my previous video I did actually glue it back together, so if you have missed that video I'd highly recommend watching that one first. And so today we are going to be using some filler. We're going to be filling in the cracks, ready for sanding and painting. So let's get going. Right, so here we are with our beautiful vase, and the first thing I'm going to do is just take off the Scotch tape here. So we did a few bits and pieces just to hold it all in place while the glue was setting. Now it's been setting for around 3 days, so it's nice and it's completely firm and it's ready for the next stage. So I'm just going to take off the tape, and they've got one more piece of tape there, and just go around, just double check that all the tape has been taken off. Now when it comes to filling in the cracks here, as you can see we've got a big crack here and lots of fine lines of cracks. So I'm going to use my usual Milliput. Again, if you have another product which you would recommend, please put in the description box down below. Now I'm going to use one which is a terracotta colour today, and I do actually collect various different colours of the Milliput. It comes in terracotta, white, turquoise, black, and a colour which is like a yellow colour, which is their standard. And what I like to do is, if I have a surplus amount over, I make them into discs, because it's really easy to then just sort of go and see which colour would be best suited to actually putting onto our item. Today, because although we haven't got a pink colour, I'm going to use a terracotta colour. I just think it'll be easier when it comes to painting. If I did white, it would take quite a few coats to cover over that white. If we start with a terracotta, it will blend in a lot easier. So I have my terracotta Milliputs here, and it comes in two parts. So first of all, I just like to take one part here, and I do like to sort of form it into a ball shape. I find it easier to compare, to make sure that they're the right size. You want them equal amounts. Always make sure that you wrap up well afterwards. So I'm just going to roll it into a ball first. So just roughly around that size, and then we're going to take our other piece. And again, I like to roll it into a ball just to compare, and that's roughly the same size. And then we want to mix them together. As you can see, they're two different colours, which is really useful, because when they're blended in, it will be just one colour, so you'll know you're on the right track and that it has been blended in well. I'll just wrap that and put it back. Right, so we just want to do this. Now you want to mix it so it feels really sort of malleable, almost like blue tack. So it's nice and soft, so it's really easy to actually place in amongst the cracks. Now it doesn't take very long to do. Now when I'm going to be filling in this today, you could use a cocktail stick. I'm going to use my little tool here. I don't know if you can see, it's got a flat end, or you could use a small palette knife. Now, because it's very hard to tell here. If I just show you quite closely, where it's the actual design in the painting is, it's not flush. There's lots of indentations. So what I'm going to do today is a slightly different technique to my usual, is the fact that I'm going to be applying my Milliput in the cracks and the crevices, and then I'm going to be smoothing it out with my fingers with water. That way it will minimalize when it comes to sanding, because I don't want to end up with sort of the edges which are sort of more protruding out to be sanded. So hopefully that we'll be able to get that right into the cracks and blend it in without creating too much on the original enamel. So I do actually have just a cup of water here ready. Now we've been doing this here now, so it's looking all the same colour, so, and it's nice and it's ready, it's soft, so we're ready to apply. So I think the first bit I'm going to do, I do the largest parts here, this big crack. Again, if you don't have this little implement, you could use a cocktail stick, but I'm just going to add just a tiny piece, and I'm just going to place it in. And smooth out. If you don't put enough on, once it's been hardened and we've sanded it, you can always apply more. I'm just going to add a bit there. I mean, it's still a very different colour to the pink, but it's not so bright and vibrant as, say, if we'd had it white. So you just want to make sure that's, you want it slightly more than flush. There we go. And then once we've done that large crack, we'll start piece here missing. We will just go down and start with that line. Again, I'll just take a small amount and I will start to just go all the way along. And I would just work along. You could, if you wanted to, on any bits which are really white, we could actually put some white just on this rather than using the terracotta. It's literally flush, so I think we'll be fine. So I'm just going to add it along there. It was actually a really tight fit, so it should be very minimal, the amount of products that we're putting in to help. Let me just do that all the way along. Just take a bit from there. And we'll work along this part here. Again, you don't want too much, just minimal. And we're going to work all the way along before we end up actually using the, what I'm going to name the water technique. You just want to work that all the way along there. As I say, there's not too many gaps, maybe a little bit more on here. I can see a few more gaps. Now, Milliput takes around a good 24 hours for it to dry and harden, ready for sanding. Obviously, it depends on how thick you apply. This is very fine, so it shouldn't take very long, although I'm going to leave it a good 24 hours. Just onto there. And I think in my next video, we're going to sand and we're going to paint as well. I think the sanding, because we're doing this technique by actually using water and actually blending most of it in, it's going to be minimal sanding. So we can just get straight on to my favourite part, which is hand painting. I absolutely love hand painting. Whoops, just put that on there. There's slightly more of a gap there, so we just add a tiny little bit more of the Milliput. And we just want to work our way all the way along, just very, very carefully. As I say, it doesn't matter too much on the colour. If you don't have, the right colour for your item, I would actually go, my default would be the superfine white. Again, it's very easy to sand and it's one which, it's a really good colour. There's a bit on there. And then we just work our way down. Let's say it's not too bad here actually, it's a good tight fit. I'm very pleased how it's actually, come together, and we managed, because it was in 4 large pieces and we managed to get it really tight. Obviously, you are adding another element when you are sticking together, which is the glue. So it's never going to be perfect, but you know, it's as good as it could be. And then I'm just going to go finish off underneath the underparts here, just going along. And I probably would just move it slightly. And I'm just going to do just along here. A bit more of a ridge there. You always find it tends to be one more than another. So you have to add a tiny bit more in there. And then we've just got one little piece to go here. When you are doing this, if you can try to get a really good light, it makes such a difference. So you can see the line, particularly if it is tight. You've got such a tight fit, it's very hard to see where the line is. So if you can get it into good light, it really does make a difference. Right, so there we are. We've actually gone all the way round. So I'm going to now take our water and I'm just going to dip my finger into it, and then we're going to smooth it out and literally fill the rest of it in with our finger. Again, you can have it slightly protruding, but just not too much. And this will minimize the time it will take to actually sand. I'll just go along. Now, when you are doing this technique, if you think, oh, I've missed a bit, wait for the water to actually dry, then reapply the Milliput. Otherwise, it will end up sliding around and it won't actually adhere. So if you just do a little bit, and this just really takes it off and makes for lighter work at the end of the day. And then we're just going to go all the way down there. And one last little bit here. And you can always use some kitchen roll tissue if there's any drip marks. Again, this is going to take around 24 hours for it to dry completely. I'll probably leave it off a bit longer and we will see how that goes. I do have the other side to do here, as you can see, but I will do that afterwards, otherwise it's going to be a very long video. So here we are with our finished item here. Well, finished as in with the Milliput on, and I haven't finished the other side, which I'm going to do next, and I will do that later. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, please subscribe, like and share, and a thumbs up. And next time we will be sanding and painting this beautiful vase. And I really look forward to seeing you in the next video.